All right. Hello, Gun Nation. I might be sitting here talking to myself. Yeah, this is not my normal night. We've got, of course, we've got Thursday night is definitely not my normal night. Wednesday is. However, I had uh, a change of flight that I had to do because of a customer, adjustments and things like that. So, anyway, we got all that done. So, I see we've got three on here. So if you're in, I've got DB in the house, or of course, jumped in to say hello and all that stuff earlier. We got Trigger Bar in the house. How are you, sir? Hope you were doing well. And I see you've got a premiere. I just saw it pop up saying for the P10C or something. So AJ, yeah, there you go. Hello, Pistol Pete. Man, it's been a long time. I think you've missed the last couple. I was getting worried about you, making sure you're okay, sir. Hope you were doing well. Probably just been busy, which is understandable. We got a little Buffalo Trace, or a lot of Buffalo Trace after last night. I didn't get back. I didn't even get home from the airport until like 11:48 last night. Yeah, it was a. I mean, nothing went wrong in Chicago. It actually was, the area that we stayed in and everything was really nice. More suburb than like city. And I didn't fly into O'Hare. I flew into, what is the name of it? Midway. So, it was, guess about an hour. I don't know. I think O'Hare is like 45 minutes or 50 minutes away from Midway. So I flew in there but yeah, went well. DB is in the house. Disastrous Effect. Hello. Let's see. Pistol Pete. Yeah, he said he has been busy. Yep. Like I said, I just checking on you, sir. Hello, Trexter. How are you? Yeah, like I said, normally Wednesday night would have been my chat night, but I was stuck, trying to get out. It was originally set up that I was going to leave and be home or get to the airport at Love Field about 5:30, and then I was going to drive back, get ready for the chat, and have it. However, like I said, I had to change my flight while I was there, and because we had another late meeting on Wednesday, so I had to get that done. So I didn't even fly out till I think 8:50, but then they had a delay. Um, so anyway, it was just, and I'm like, dang it, well, I'm not going to make the chat. So that's why I put that up, just saying, hey, no chat tonight, because I wanted to do it, but like I said, stuff happens, unfortunately. Hello, Rabbi. Hope you were doing well, sir. Ranger 10 is in the house. But Floridian's in the house too. All right. Got a bunch of the usual peoples. That's what I like. But yeah, so, and then I'm making it a point because I need it. I've been doing so much with everything and running around that tomorrow afternoon, and actually I flew out there on Monday, so I was supposed to be off for the holiday, but had to get out there for that meeting. And so I've got a conference call and stuff in the morning. I'm gonna knock that out, and then I'm gonna head to the range and spend a good day at the range. So that's what I want to do. I've got a bunch of stuff to test, shoot, uh, all that kind of stuff. So that'll definitely keep me busy. I want to get caught up on a bunch of stuff. So because yeah. No, Rabbi, I have that, but that's the thing. When you do streaming, it won't let you stream, or on the airline I was on. You can do like their little texting. So, it's not, full blown like Wi-Fi. So, but yes, I love y'all. Heck yeah. Gotta love the family. Checkmate TSO. Hello. Finger red number one. Yep. Yep. The crew is here. Tradbo's in the house. Yep. Like I was telling you last time, Tradbo sent me a special item, and I will be testing that tomorrow also. I'm pretty excited about that. I've been looking forward to it and been wanting to, and I've LARPed around the house with it, but I haven't gotten to test it yet. So I will be doing that tomorrow. Yes, Wilson Combat was at TGE. Yep, they sure were. Yeah, I didn't I didn't go see them. They've got something going on Saturday. I can't. Is it Wilson there or then? No, it's Sig. Sig is going to be there this Saturday. It's like some national Sig deal or something, or some Sig show, but they're having all the Sig stuff at Texas Gun Experience on Saturday. So that's why I'm going on Friday. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, but I'm sure if I went up there, some of those people will probably remember me. DB just got back from a week off himself. That's awesome. Let's see here. I over traveled and caught some nasty lung infection. Thought it was my time for a moment. Ooh, that's not good. Usual. What suburb in Chicago? I was in, oh crap, what's the name of that? Hang on, I can tell you here just real quick. I mean, I was in multiple ones, but the main one that I was in, I will tell you here. Well, I say I will tell you. I was in Lockport. That was the main area I was in, but then I was also all those surrounding areas. Hello, Tristan. How are you? Sig days. Yeah, that's what it is. Sig days. Probably be a bunch of NDs and ADs. Uh-oh, that's funny. Yeah, Texas got hammered, man. They got hammered hard. Let's see here. Hang on for a second. All right. Bunch of NDs and ADs. Yeah, we don't need any of those. Yep, I saw that, Rabbi. You know, they're going to try to do whatever they can do. Golly, stop. Yep, they're going to try to do whatever they can do. You know, he's got the right to appeal. I just don't know how. I don't know how this is going to play out. I told you something weird was happening, so you know this might be it or more stuff. Hello, Rusty Taylor, Bagger Bros in the house. I avoid Chicago. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've got a huge customer there, so. Naperville. Yeah, I know where that is. Yep. Hello, Norwood. How are you? But yeah, so I'm glad that I'm back. You know, in the house or back home. Oh, and I had some people reach out to me and ask me what I was carrying in Chicago. I had a tactical pen. You know, one of those pokey pokes. So that's what I had. You know, that's what I was carrying. Let's see. Hello, Abigail. How are you? Hope you're doing good. Oh man, they're in Midland. Golly, man. I've got friends in Midland too. That's not good at all. That is horrible. But yeah, so I will be going to the range tomorrow. I've got some dots I'll be testing. 2 dots, as a matter of fact. I'm going to be testing another item. So I'm taking a bunch of ammo. I'm testing bags, you know, the way I'm loading them up for Lynx Defense. So, and some pistol bags, a combo bag. I'll kind of get into it more. I've already tested it, kind of loading it up and stuff, but I'm going to, you know, take it places and all that stuff, kind of travel with it. So I'll be doing that as well. Oh, also, man, the craziest thing, and this is the second time it's happened. I dominantly wear, cowboy boots and jeans and stuff like that. Well, for this meeting and for some of these meetings, I'm wearing like really nice clothes, kind of slacks and, dress shoes and that kind of stuff. So I've got some Dennis pliers. I believe that's the way it's said. They're like an Italian, dress shoe. I mean, they're nice, but I've got some with leather soles, which I never have a problem with. And then I've got some with those rubber, they're kind of like, I forget what it's called. It's kind of like Echo or something, but this is a different one. But I haven't worn these shoes in a really long time. Of course, they still fit, but I haven't worn them in a really long time. So put them on, went to the meeting, did all that other stuff, and I was walking around and I'm like, something feels weird. But I didn't think anything else about it. I got back to the hotel that evening before we were going to dinner, and I had my leg up. I think I might have even been talking to Uncle Dan on the phone. And I looked down, and the whole sole of my shoe was cracked and just like blowing apart. It was just chunks of it were coming off. And I'm like, what in the hell? And I looked at the other one. It was doing the same exact thing. So, and of course, I had my boots. So I just wore slacks and boots and stuff. But yeah, so I took those really expensive dress shoes and threw them in the trash at the hotel, just chunked them in the trash can. I didn't even bring them back because you can't resole these particular ones. They're worth the leather soles, but I'm like, what in the hell? And these things were like, they're not cheap, but I'm like, I think I only wore them. I've had them for probably about 4 years, but I think I've only worn them 3 times maybe. And because I haven't worn them in a long time, I guess that's why they let loose. It just literally started, just chunks were coming apart. So I'm just like, what in the hell is going on? Let's see here. Let me catch back up. Free 45. Yep. Shotgun cards. Yeah, I've got some shotgun cards. They're not cheap. They're SE. I think they're called SE or something like that. I've got the camoed ones. They do work really well. But I also have a buddy of mine who bought some on Amazon, and he hasn't had any problems with them. They look similar to mine. I think they're kind of a knockoff of the one that I have, but he likes them and they work fine. I think, if you just get your own like 3M Velcro, and stick it on your gun, you'll probably be good with those standard ones, probably. Elvis Presley jumpsuit. That's what I'm thinking about getting. Hell yeah. Bring it to a cobbler. Yeah, I threw them away. So somebody's getting a nice pair of shoes. I guess if they want to mess with it, they can, but I'm not worried about it. Oh, man. I got some fancy city boy cowboy boots I wear with a suit. Yeah, I've worn boots and suits for a long time. So I had my big bass. Let's see, Bagger Bro saying, so how much did it cost each time you put them on? Well, I wore them like 3 or 4 times, and I think they were like $275 for the shoes back when I bought them. But it is what it is. So S-Tac, that's what it is. That's what it is. Lee Spanker's a good shotgun card. They're cheaper. S-Tac is the real deal that Big J is talking about. S-Tac, yeah. That's the ones I have. Hello, Clyde Cumberland. How are you? Riding Glock and asking them to make shoes. How large was the belt buckle? Actually, it was, a dress belt. So it was just a standard stainless buckle. I didn't wear my cowboy buckle. Also, this was like forever ago. I still have my cowboy buckle that I actually won for steer wrestling. This was, golly, it's big, but it's not circular. It's kind of, and some people have probably seen it, but it's kind of circular in the middle, but then it has like the side, it's kind of square. But yeah, I won that for steer wrestling way, way back in the day. It's got my name and it's got the little champion year and all that shit. You can't read it. It's all scraped up. But yeah, I always joked around and I said, you shouldn't buy a buckle. You should win a buckle. And of course, before I won one, I bought one. I think every cowboy probably has. But then when I won mine, I started wearing it. Matter of fact, I think it's on the floor here. Yeah, it is. if you want to see it. If you don't want to see it, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but if you want to see it, it's laying over here on the floor. Let's see here. New Balance sneakers. Yep. Square toe shoes. Glock have made those. I'm sure they have. Yeah, I used to wear, steel toe boots way back in the day when I was a mechanic. I think, we had to and stuff when I was a aviation technician and stuff like that. Disastrous wants to see it. Is that a deer in the background? How have I missed that? Yeah, it's always been there. That's Billy Jack. Let's see here. Yep, I killed that one a long time ago. Oh, shit. I took the damn buckle off. Oh, here it is. Hang on. I switched it. I had to move it around for the wedding. Here's the belt that it goes on. It's horsehide and horsehair. Make sure you can't read my name. No, you can't read it. That's it. I don't know how well it shows up. Make sure you can't read it. Anyway, that's it. So yeah, it's big. There's my fist. So my room is such a mess. Hello, Brian Shane. How are you? Yeah, I shot that deer. Man, I've got them. I've got other ones around the house, but that's my biggest one. I don't even know how many points it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an 8-pointer. Unless I'm missing one. It's got 2 spikes too. Let's see here. Ranger is saying, speaking of SIG, they have a new 1911 out, the X Full. I saw a video on it. Has a firing pin safety for drop safety and has a red dot cut. So able to put hands on one. I'm a SIG fanboy for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's cool that they're making that an option. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will like it. You should shadow box it. Oh, what, the buckle? Nah, I've been wearing that thing for years. I've got a few collector football jerseys that I have in shadow boxes, but I mean, I kind of like to enjoy them, especially, there's some things I probably wouldn't, but it's a buckle. So, and I like wearing big old buckles sometimes. Rob Zombie. Yep. That's a hell of a band. Watching Tommy the Hitman Hearns. Man, I remember him. But like I said, I am going to do some testing tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. Getting out and shooting, relaxing. It's very therapeutic, and it's just I've been running 90-0, so it'll be good to get in there and relax and test some stuff out. So, and it's always good testing stuff that actually works. So there for a little while, I was testing something that did not work, and it's still not working as far as I'm concerned. So somebody's going to be inheriting that thing. But anyway, let's see here. Hello, Scott. How are you? Yep, Trigger Bar said hit that thumbs up. Yes, I would appreciate it so much. And again, man, I'm sorry that we didn't get to do the Wednesday night chat. I was like, damn it, but work, so that happened. Let's see. Get the SIG Legion out of your mind. Yeah. I mean, I've shot them. They're nice guns. I like the SIG metal guns. I have nothing against them at all. What do I think about the HK VP9? I mean, it's a good gun. I've had one. Trigger's not bad. And the thing I do like about that gun, the trigger is more forward. So it sets up better for large or long fingers. And when you pull it, it pulls at like kind of a 90 degree kind of break. And you're not pulling it all the way to the rear. So I do really like that about the gun. But at the end of the day, it was kind of like it wasn't anything other than you can change the panels to kind of fit your hand better. I liked that. Then you can have like a black gun with gray panels, or a gray gun, or excuse me, a black gun, or a FDE gun with black panels. You can mix and match them. That was pretty cool about it. It was comfortable to shoot. When I first got mine, they changed from having a 9mm spring to a 40 caliber spring, and it would not run. I've got an old video on it. It would not run 115. And I was like, what in the hell? And then I found out from HK that they changed it to a 40 caliber spring. So they recommended you run 124, grain ammo, which is fine. But it didn't say that anywhere in it. I had to find that out from them. And then, I was just like, you need to ship them with both springs, if you're running heavy ammo, whatever, or if you're running light ammo. And so they said, well, we don't have any 9mm springs. Well, I didn't say, oh, I'm a YouTuber or any of that kind of shit. I'm just like, this is bullshit. And talked to one of the, I guess the HK gunsmiths or whatever, the technical person, and he shipped me out a 9mm spring. It fixed everything. But I was kind of pissed when I first got it way back in the day. Shoot some paper plates. Pistol Pete, you are not the only person that has said that. People have been like, dude, where's the paper plates? You haven't shot any paper plates in a long time. And I was like, good point. Because I still have like 300 of those suckers. And they're cheap. If anybody needs great targets, Walmart, little shitty ass paper plates, you can get like 300 of them for like $5. Where if you go to the gun range, you're buying those for what, like $1 a piece or something? But, or some places charge you that. Let's see here. Scott says, picked up my Glock 17L Gen 5 yesterday. It's nice. Haven't had a chance to shoot it yet. Cool, man. When you do shoot it, let us know what you think about it. I mean, I like my 17L, but mine's the Gen 3. I have seen Rob Zombie 3 times in Oklahoma City, once in Dallas, and once in Little Rock. Wow, that's awesome, man. How's the new job? It's actually going really well. It is, of course, a lot of travel, which is, I'm used to that. Meeting some customers I already knew from back in the day, and they're glad that I'm back. And then some new ones. I picked up even some more new territory. And I met them for the first time. That's what I went down there for, to Chicago. So really nice people. I mean, no complaints. I should hopefully be getting my truck soon. Why do so many 9mm handguns prefer 124? I mean, I actually prefer 124. Is like, my medium, because, it's fast. It's a little heavier. That's kind of my preferred round. But there's nothing wrong with 115 or 147. I just prefer 124. But some are just kind of NATO spec. They're kind of set up for NATO, and NATO is 124. That's the preferred NATO. So that's what it's classified as, is 124. Full power. Yeah, there you go, Pistol Pete. He's saying the same thing. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with printing targets off at work too. And, honestly, you could just get printer paper, the little square of printer paper, which is basically an A zone. You could just stick it up there and shoot printer paper. And that gives you a good target too. You don't even have to print anything off. Just buy a roll of printer paper. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind having, since I already have the Glock 17L and Gen 3, I wouldn't mind having a Gen 5 also. Yeah, what I carried this week, because I was in Chicago, I carried one of those tactical pins, the steel pins. I didn't have any problem, and I never have in the past getting it through TSA and all that other stuff. But I've got one. How can I say this? I've got one that is a pin, and then I've got one that is longer, and it's kind of a spike. So I guess if you tested it on paper, one would work, one wouldn't. So. Oh, here we go. Brian said, let my former brother-in-law shoot his first AR. He was giddy. That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's always fun when, you're able to allow somebody to shoot like their first 300 blackout, first 308, first AR-15, anything, even their first pistol. No, that's always, it's fun for them, but it's also fun for you that you've kind of brought them to that world. And a lot of people that I've done that with, they're like, oh crap, I'm getting one. And then it's like, okay, what should I get next? What should I get next? What should I get next? Sometimes you'll create a monster, which is good. I mean, we want people on our side, but sometimes, yeah, you create a monster. Yeah, my preferred carry ammo, Abigail, is Federal HST 124, the standard, not the plus P, plus B plus, any of that stuff, just standard 124 HST. I've always had really good luck with it. I do have some Spear Gold Dot as the same. And I've got like SIG V Crown and stuff like that. I really don't care for that though. I have had some problems with it in some guns because it's kind of a shorter bullet. So it's kind of short, and some feed ramps, it can be I don't have a lot that it's picky on, but I have had 2 guns where I would get a feeding issue here and there. So I just don't recommend it for carry. For me personally, if you carry it, that's cool, but I won't carry SIG V Crown. I have had a few issues with it here and there. Hello, Russell. How are you? When did HK switch to a heavier spring in the VP9? I got my VP9 in 2014. You've got the old spring. Yep, you've got the old spring. When I first saw they came out, should I call HK and ask about my VP9? No, I think you have the regular spring. It was painted a different color. One's blue and one's red, I think. And I don't remember which is which. You could probably Google it. I'm sure people have done, all the posts on it. Or you could look at my video. It's way, way back. And I even I said, mine's got the red spring or blue spring or something. Because when they sent me the 9mm one, it was painted differently. So you could check that video out if you want to go back and look at it. Yeah, and a lot of people carry the plus P. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I just don't need an overpressured round. I don't feel that I do. And it's not that it's going to break a gun or anything like that. I don't feel it's really needed personally for me. And like I said, Disastrous, that wasn't a super common thing. I just had 2 guns, and they were they're not like budget guns, and they did not care for the V Crown. And it was V Crown, the 115 V Crown, and the 124 V Crown, and the 147 V Crown. I still have a lot of that. I just don't. I'll shoot it at the range, but I just won't carry it. Yeah, and it was only 2 pistols that I had issues with. All the rest of them made it just fine. But they were pistols that I thought they should have ran it pretty easily. And it kind of, I thought, man, is this a mag issue? So I took that mag out. I loaded V Crown in another mag in the same gun, and it had issues. It would 3 of them work great, and then it would not feed the 4th one. And I'm like, this isn't good. And then I tested the same exact mag with HST, and it worked perfectly. So I'm like, okay, this one doesn't like V Crown. And it ran FMJs fine. No, they weren't. One of them was the, which one was it? It was the CZ. It was a CZ P10F. One was the CZ P10F, and the other one was, what was the other one? This was a while back. What the hell was the other one? I'll think about it in a minute. I want to say it was my M&P 9C, the old 9C. I want to say that's what it was. But anyway, like I said, it was so long ago. Hello, Pistol Pete. How are you? Or I'm sorry, G23. G23. Sorry about that. I saw his name under your comment. Yes, and you're right. Every gun has its own own deal. Academy's Monarch, that can be kind of hit and miss. I've had some of that runs. I've only ran the brass Monarch, but I've had some that's really good and hot, and I've had some that just, man, it just barely ejected out of there. It was super, super weak. But I have some of that. I don't have tons of it, but I have shot a lot of it in the past. Also, let's see here. How can I say this? I don't want to give too much away, or I don't want to be. All right, we'll just get into it. Electric cars. I had this thought because it was brought up, not from a viewer, but in my business world. There's a thing that's starting to come out. I don't know if y'all have heard about it. And anybody that has an electric car, not trying to, upset anybody, but there is a issue that's coming out now, and you can check into it. It's called electric car sickness. Okay. And the complaints or the symptoms are like lack of energy, just feeling kind of sick to your stomach, blah, blah, blah. And some people have been experiencing this, and they were like saying, am I becoming car sick? Blah, blah, blah. Just thinking about it. Well, in my brain, I was like, okay, what do they preach to us? If you have headphones in, like wireless headphones, that's receiving a signal. And that's not great for your brain because, that's putting out, what is it, radiation or whatever you want to call it. And they would tell us, oh, don't have your cell phone against your head because that's bad for you. Don't carry it in your pocket because it's close to your nuts. That's bad for you. Blah, blah, blah. You know how they've been saying that forever. Too much of that is bad for you, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you think about it, you're in an electric car, you're sitting on top of a monster battery. So you're literally inside of a cell phone. It's receiving signals, the whole works. So you're really driving around in a cell phone, so can that be real good for you? I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but can that be really good for you? You're literally sitting on a freaking cell phone battery inside of a cell phone. And a lot of people are thinking that's why it's happening. So, and could that happen? I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor, never claimed to be, but I'm like, they always warned us about cell phone signals and all of that being bad for your health. Well, now you're actually sitting in one, for if you're on a long drive or whatever. So could that be an issue? I don't know, but so that was just a thought. Just wondered if y'all have ever thought about anything like that. Yeah, electromagnetic field, correct. So I'm like, you're sitting on that thing and driving around. So I don't know if that's good. But what's up, Harry? Am I getting the electric rolls? No, it's sharp looking, but I won't be getting that. But it is cool. Scott said, yeah, I'm curious about this. I ran 100 rounds of PSA 762 by 39. Seems decent. Had no problems. They need to get the price down, though. Yeah, they're keeping it high because, I mean, they've kind of got a market on that right now. Started in California. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking. You're living in an induction nightmare. That's true. I mean, you're receiving all those signals, that thing's running that car. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. Much of it has had a sickness for a long time. I put some Techron in it, and it feels much better. There you go. Oh, I did get to play with the new Z06 Corvette. It's a pretty nice car. No, we already know there's some things that people took, not too long ago, and they're having reactions from it, and it's really starting to fester out. And they haven't apologized for that. Yeah, that's what I was wondering also. Um, that's exactly what I was thinking too. It could be messing with your levels, pulling that tea clean out of you. Yeah, what we need to do is we just need to have some really hopped up cars and run alcohol in them. That'll fix the issues. Let's see here. I have pistols that won't lock the slide back when dry. My high grip can do that, and I understand. Do you guys have a pistol where you bump the slide lock and and the lock back with rounds still in the mag? Yes, that happens to me. I mean, I ride the slide lock, slide release, whatever you want to call it. I ride it on my P10Cs, my P10F, my hand size, and my high grip. That happens to me quite a bit with those guns. Um, but I just work through it. I can't blame it on the gun. It's not the gun's fault. It's just my grip. It just happens. Yeah, and I see a lot of their ammo, PSA's ammo. Sometimes they'll run some pretty good sales, like on 300 Blackout and stuff like that. Um, and like their 110 VMAX is not horrible priced for their 300 Blackout when they have it in stock. I don't know about that Saber ammo though. I mean, I've seen some results from it, and I'm not super impressed. But then again, I haven't shot it personally. I don't know, Scott. I haven't dabbled in them. However, I'm with the new gig. I'm right back in them. So I will be getting super. Put it this way, uh, we manufacture products for them as well. I can say that. I can say that. So I did play around with a couple of them this past week. Hello, Gizzard Gary. How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, Harry. Yeah. Yeah, the Sierra Match and stuff like that, they seem to have pretty decent pricing on that for some of them. And like I said, I haven't really tested any of their ammo, honestly. So I don't really have, any experience with it yet, but I was planning on ordering some. I've got quite a bit of 300 Blackout, but I was going to order more because I'm going to start shooting it more. And so I was going to load up on some of that even more. Ooh, let's see here. The local PSA just opened up 2 weeks ago and has had 140 plus possible stolen last week. Pistols and rifles, Brian? Is that what you're saying? Think somebody broke into it and stole all those rifles and pistols? Yeah, there you go. Don't let Big J fool you. His new daily is an orange lifted Cybertruck. No, it's not. I've seen them, but I haven't even sat in one yet, so I don't know. A lifted Rivian. No, I did actually sit in the new electric Silverado though, and it's very weird. I looked at it, sat in it. I was like, not saying it's a horrible truck. I don't know. It was just different. It's just, something I'm not used to. I didn't drive it though. Yeah, a lot of them do drive into the buildings, or they will, like if it's got a bay door on it, they'll punch through the bay door, or someone come through the ceiling. I've seen people bust out ceilings and come through the ceiling. Uncle Dan always gives me shit. He's like, "Yeah, you want a Subaru Crosstrek in orange, don't you?" I was like, "Oh hell yeah, it's my dream car." That's my dream car. Let's see here. Come on, we all know Big J is driving around in the electric Hummer. No, but I've seen those too. Got a customer who has, they've got, with their group, they've got 3 of them. It's a dealer group, or it's a dealer. And he's got 3 of the Hummers. He's got one of his GMs in it. He drives one, and his wife is driving one, and they all really like them. But like I said, I haven't been in one, so I don't know. Hell yeah! Get you the old what is it? The Little Red Express. Remember those Dodge Little Red Expresses back in the day? I'm showing my age, but I had a friend that had one that was completely restored. It was pretty cool. Hello, Jeff. How are you, sir? Hope you were doing well. Yeah, from what I understand, the people who buy the Subarus really like them. I've been in one before. I wasn't driving, but I've been in one before. It didn't ride bad. No, but I've seen the Chevy Volts, and I've seen the Chevy Bolts, the new ones, and the new electric Blazer. And I'm like, not a fan of that. Yeah, Cybertrucks are definitely weird looking. But yeah, I was just wondering, if anybody had ever thought, like, hell, you're just driving around on a damn cell phone. So could that affect you? Could it make you sick? Could it make you feel bad? I mean, maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't put that past what's going on with some of these people. 69 Dodge A100 with factory AC, had a 318 wide block. Oh yeah. I remember the F100s and the Dodge A100s, man, the F100s, if I could find the right price. Now, granted, I can't really fit in a single cab anymore because they're just so, a lot of them were short back in the day. But if I could find a really, really good deal, which you can't now, on an old F100, I'd probably take it and restore it. Porsches are nice. Porsche just released 2 new models. I don't know if y'all saw the unveiling, but they released them. But yeah, I mean, and Harry knows this, but I would love, I had one when we were a kid, but I would love to have the old, K15 Blazer, the big one. I would love to have one of those to trick it out, lift it, do everything with it. I would really, really like to have one of those, or an International Scout. If I could find an International Scout where I could really trick it out, I'd put a supercharger on that bit. Excuse my language, but I'd put a supercharger on it, and really not overlift it, but I would definitely make it a beast. I'd really like to have a K15 or an International Scout. I love the International Scouts, but God, they want a fortune for those things now. Lots of electricians die early of cancer, especially industrial guys. Being in that inductive magnetic field is terrible for your health. Yeah, and of course, in aviation too, you're around magnetos. I mean, igniters. I mean, there's all kinds of things you're around that are not good for you. Matter of fact, there's placards all over, the boxes and things like, I mean, you pop those things loose if you don't ground them properly. I mean, when you unhook them, they'll kill you. I mean, they got a lot of amps in them. So, that's not good for you either. But I could just imagine riding around, in an electrical cell phone all day. I can't see how that would be good for you. And I'm not shitting on anybody's electric car. Don't get me wrong. I'm just thinking, I like to run this crap through my head. Toyota Tacoma. Yeah. Toyota makes hell of a vehicle. And I should have never sold my 86 4Runner. I had an 86 4Runner with the 4-banger in it. Freaking fantastic vehicle. Fort Scott's. Let's see here. What's your thoughts on Fort Scott's 80 grain 9mm? I have some Fort Scott, but it's not 80 grain. It's a little heavier. I've shot it. I haven't shot it at any pig heads or anything like that, though, where I could really test it effectiveness. I've just shot it at the range. I mean, very low recoil. I don't notice it. I'm not recoil sensitive, but I was just like, wow, is this even 9 millimeter? I think it was maybe the 110 or 90 grain or something. It was really light, but it was the spun copper. Um, and I mean, I didn't think it was bad or good. I mean, I didn't test it in gel or anything like that. So I really don't know. If it functions in your gun properly and that's what you want to run, I don't see any reason not to run it. Um, I just don't have a lot of experience. I know it tumbles and things like that. I just don't have a lot of experience personally to speak of that. Um, I would just be talking about what I've seen on a YouTube video like you could, but I don't know. S10, yeah. Really want to build another S10 with a Ramjet 502 with a Pro Street supercharger and twin 88 millimeter turbos. Yeah. I've got a customer of mine who collects Cyclones. Let me rephrase that. He's got the Cyclones and the Typhoon. He's got 3 Typhoons, which were the little Blazers, and then he's got 3 of the Cyclones, which were the little S10 trucks. A couple of each one of those are completely stock, like original. He's brought them up to original specifications, and then he's got one of each where they are completely modded out. So the engine's been pulled, trannies, they're little drag cars, little drag trucks, I guess I should say, but they're really cool. Ooh, okay, here we go. I'm a broadcaster or broadcast engineer, been dealing with high power RF for 30 plus years. Unfortunately, I also have stage 4 cancer. God dang, man. Damn. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Holy crap. I did not know that. My prayers are definitely with you and your family. That is awful. Well, there could be something to this crap then. Yeah, I remember those shag carpet and water beds. Hell yeah. That is horrible. 2017. God dang. Man, I hope you just keep on pressing through, man. I've had some really fun, fast cars. Way back in the day. I think I was fresh out of high school. I had a Conquest. Well, no, when I was in high school, I had a Shelby Turbo Z. And then after I got out, I had a Conquest TSI. I'm going to really go back. I think it was an 88. Conquest TSI. That thing was a little pocket rocket, and it wasn't stock. It had a dual stage turbo, open wastegate. I'd done a bunch of shit to it. I had a 69 Cutlass 442 with a 455. 4-bolt main, dual exhaust, the whole works. It was a real 442. And I completely restored it, but tricked out the motor, so it wasn't all OE. I've had some really fast pickup trucks over the years. My truck now is pretty fast. It's not stock. My wife's car is not stock. Race cars, I had a 71 CUDA, but it was a body. I had tubbed it for quarter mile. Had a 583. It was a Keith Black built engine. I did not build that engine. He built it. What else have I had? Oh, the 69 Camaro. Had a 70 Chevelle. What else did I have? For a short amount of time, I had a SS El Camino with a 427, but I had a hard time fitting in that car, so I didn't keep it super long. I bought it right and sold it and made a ton of money, so that was a benefit. Trying to think of just the fast cars. Oh, I had the old Trans Am Smoking the Bandit car with a 455 in it. and that wasn't stock either. And the T-tops leaked like a sieve, even with new weather strip on them. But they were fun. Let me catch back up here. Oh, Big J, who did you set up with an AR last weekend, and what did you set it up with? Okay, great question, because I didn't advertise it. Family member got them hooked up with an AR. It's their very first AR. I went over, out of the box. I cleaned it for them, took the bolt apart, took all the kind of, shipping grease off, cleaned it all up, showed them how to clean it, ran the bore snake through it. Of course, it was a new gun, but that's just my habit. I always run the bore snake 3 times. That's just my little thing I always do. Oiled it, lubed it, got it all ready to go. Brought over my Mantis Blackbeard, and put it in the bottom, turned the laser on, went to his farthest area in his home, which was the second floor from one corner all the way to the other bedroom. Went for the light switch over there, stood it up on a recliner, put the Blackbeard in it, turned the laser on, put a dot on it. I gave him a dot. It works perfectly, but it's the Bushnell TRS 25 with the taller, it comes with 2. So a little bit taller mount. Decided to, just did a bore sight, where I put the laser where the bore is coming out, and then zeroed the dot down to it. Took literally 5 seconds, just so I could, of course we're going to take it to the range and shoot it, but I just wanted to kind of quick bore sight it for him. So I did that. Put a new charging handle in it because it had the mil spec standard one. So I put a Bear Creek Arsenal in it, put one of these in it, or Brick Arms. I'm sorry, not Bear Creek, Brick Arms charging handle. I really do like their charging handles. The Warhammer, put that in there. What else did I do? Got him hooked up with a pistol, cleaned it, lubed it, showed him how to do all that. And then we had a big party on Sunday. So I did all this before the party and got all that set up. And anyway, so he's all good to go now. I've just got to take him to the range and let him shoot it and watch him. And, we'll be good. I guess it's my son-in-law's father. So that's who it is. So got him all hooked up with everything he needed. So he is good now. We just got to get him some training behind it. Yeah, Jerry, it wasn't, just so you know, when I bought it was just a rolling chassis. So when I bought it, but no rust, no nothing. But I tubbed it. So it wasn't like a show car. I just tubbed it, cut it up, put a narrowed rear end in it, all that good stuff. So I was using it strictly for the body. Matter of fact, it was a street car, Pro Street. So you couldn't, I drove it on the street, but just run it up and down the street. I didn't drive it. Yeah, there you go. 67 Chevelle, man. Box. Yeah. Yeah, those are great vehicles, man. Oh, I had a couple of G bodies too. The Cutlass, I just bought them because they were cheap and souped those up. One of them had a 400 small block in it, and the other one had a 503 in it. I had to cut the whole front end. I had to put bigger springs on it because of the weight of the engine. Also had to do that because I had an extended oil pan, so it held 10 quarts. So I had to raise the front end up. So it kind of set front heavy. However, when you squatted it, you locked those slicks down. It was a screamer. And then you get the G-body shuffle. If anybody has G-bodies, they know what it is. Those things just like to wiggle all down the road. So you better know how to drive it if you're running a G-body. A lighter spring. Here we go. Let's see here. Gotcha. They have 115 80s and plus P and 125 subs. I had the 115. Maybe mine were the 115s. And the cycle very well on my 19 with Ramjet. Got some 80s. They don't run hot enough to cycle well. Think the plus P will do better. Yeah, the plus P should do better. Yes. anytime you get into those light loads, that's what you can have problems with. So I guess I had the 115s. I guess that's what mine were, but they ran fine. And the gun that I ran them in was comped, but I haven't ran the 80s. So 78 miles to 808 station wagon with a 3-stage nitro. There you go. Yeah, I'm a big Mopar fan. I have two. Matter of fact, my wife's Charger. It's an RT originally, okay, but it's way faster than it. Put it this way: it'll smoke a Scat Pack, and it'll run pretty tight with a red line and a Demon. It'll run pretty tight. Now, not the new 7. What is it? The 710. That Demon would smoke it. The Street Beast, but it's a pretty damn fast car. I've done a couple of videos. Nobody gave two shits about it, but I've got a custom exhaust on it that I designed, and then I have an exhaust guy. He's actually in Garland, Texas. But I had one of my exhaust guys, and I did a custom design H-pipe and some other stuff on it, and drew it all out. He cut it all up, welded it all in for me, and it sounds damn good. I did a video where I set the phone under it and did the cold start and revved it up and did all that. I mean, it's a nice, matter of fact, every time she leaves, the neighbors can hear her and I can hear her coming down the street. It'll definitely rumble. But I love cars. I mean, always like the fast cars. Chevettes. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Hell, when I was in high school, man, I had a friend of mine that had the Vega station wagon, and, it was stock. And then I was like, man, come on, let's do some work on that thing. So we ended up tricking it out and ran a 350 in it. And it wasn't a stock 350, but we ran a 350 in it. And that thing was a beast. And then I had another buddy who had a Ford Pinto. His grandfather gave it to him. And it was ugly as shit. But Ford Pinto, and put a 302 Boss in it, and had the what were they? The shackles. And it was a fast-ass Pinto. I mean, he'll pull a wheelie with that little sucker when he put slicks on it. I mean, it had side pipes that stuck out the side. It was a crazy little vehicle. But, I mean, it was actually so fast, it was pretty hard to handle. But, yeah, we always ran cars. We loved fast cars. Yeah, and hell, the Trailhawks, man. I've got a buddy who's got a Trailhawk. It's like the older SRT Jeeps, but he's got the Trailhawk. I mean, that thing is a monster. It's not stock. I think he's pushing 1,100 horsepower out of that Trailhawk. Of course, it voided his warranty, but he has money. He doesn't care. But yeah, he's got 1,100 horsepower in that Trailhawk. Matter of fact, maybe I'll get it one time and just do a video on it and take it out and run the dog shit out of it. Let y'all see it. It's pretty fucking crazy, pretty crazy. But yeah, I still like fast cars. It's even better when they go fast and they handle well. I've had some cars that would go fast, really, really fast in a straight line. You get them in some corners, they didn't handle worth a dog shit, but that's not what they were built for either. Ford Pacer, yeah. Matter of fact, I went to high school, and I still know his name. It's Monty McCraney. We were real good friends, played football together. His dad worked for Buick back in the day. He had the very, very first Grand National GNX. Not just a Grand National. He had the freaking GNX. He got the very first one, or it wasn't the number one off the assembly line. I'm sure somebody else got that, but it was like probably within the top 10 built. And Monty got that and drove it to high school. And man, that car was freaking legit. Holy shit. Back in the day, that thing was fast as hell. And I had another buddy. His name was Alex Victrolas. And he had a Monte Carlo SS that came with a 305 in it. We pulled the 305 out and put a 400 small block in it. So it was a V6 in the GNX, same body styles. Monte Carlo and the Buick Grand National were similar body styles, G bodies, or similar G bodies, and ran the Monte Carlo SS against the Grand National, V6 against a V8 big block. And I mean, they were at the finish line. I mean, we couldn't even call it. Back, we didn't have, cameras back, those speed cameras back then. But yeah, that thing was super, super fast. The Grand National would handle better than the Monte Carlo, but that SS wasn't set up for highway and quarter mile. Matter of fact, Alex got busted on I-35 in Dallas. He was going from Denton into Dallas at like 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and nobody was on the road. And he got clocked. I think he was doing like 140 something miles an hour, and he went into a high pursuit chase from, like, where did it start? I think it was Carrollton all the way into Dallas, and they had the highway blocked, and that's how they caught him. They stopped him. They blocked the highway farther up into Dallas on 35, and that's how they caught him. So it was either that or run into a bunch of cop cars. So yeah, that he ended up getting busted. He got put in jail, and his parents got him out and all that crap. And he was only 17 years old, 16 years old, something like that. Pacer, man, I remember those. He drove a 49 Ford pickup with a custom paint job and definitely a hot rod. On the tailgate, it said, "Next to sex, my Ford is best." There you go. I still have it in the garage, but my little license plate cover for my Cutlass, the 442, it said "Let's 69" in my 69. It was kind of lame, but I had that thing way back in the day. Somebody made it for me, so I put it on there, and I saved the license plate when I sold it. 34 coupe. Yeah. I mean, I had nothing against them, the rat rides and things like that, the coupes and all that. It's just they weren't my cup of tea. Um, I just weren't my gig. My dad, of course, he's not he's getting older, not doing super great, but probably about 5 years ago, we sold his car. He had a 70 Charger RT 440, all original, plum crazy purple, all numbers matching, original window sticker. I even did restoration on it. This car was one of 6 that were graded. It was called a Pendastar car. So it was graded. There were only, his was one of the 6 highest in the nation that met this rating. We ran it through Barrett Jackson. Barrett Jackson did a no charge. They wanted the car in the auction. So it ran through Vegas, and they did a no charge entry, and we ran it through. And it brought way more than 6, but this car was stupid. It had been measured perfect ride height, door gaps, hood gaps. I mean, this car was insane. But sold that about 5 years ago. And since then, I haven't had any classic cars. I thought about buying another one, but, and maybe I will. Who knows? I really want a Blazer or an International Scout. I think I would probably enjoy that more because, I'm not going to be running 150 miles an hour anymore. One of the reasons I've had people ask me that know me, why I got out of quarter mile racing. And as I got older, I bumped my life insurance up. And when you bump it up over $1 million, you can't do any extreme sports, like, parachute jumping and racing. And they count any kind of racing as extreme sports. The only one they don't do is SCCA, the little circle track where you can like race in the Miatas and Porsches and stuff like that. They don't count that as extreme sports, but they count it as extreme sports. So my premium was just insane. So they were like, we're not even going to cover you anymore. So anyway, that's when I sold everything off. Hello, Jason Fisher. How are you? Hey, Johnson. Hey, bro. How are you doing? Embarrassing for the New York legal system. Doesn't surprise me. They're jailing people for self-defense. Yeah. I mean, dude, we know how all that crap is. Let's see here. Gotcha. Um, I just asked. I listened to a first and second podcast about Full Metal Jacket. I commented that I like Fort Scott's. They didn't say much besides mock me and don't believe in the marketing. Not sure what they meant. Some people don't believe in this, tumbling effect or the all spun copper. There's people out there that do that, but that's why I say, whatever ammo you decide to use, just test it, make sure it's going to work properly in your gun. If you're able to like shoot frozen pig heads or something where you can get some kind of data where you can kind of see what it's doing. I know, a lot of people can't do that. You can't go to a range and shoot at paper and go, oh yeah, this will work great. You want to be able to do some kind of a testing, gel testing, whatever it is, so you can have some sort of a medium to test. And that's probably nobody's done a lot of that. I know they've done it with some hunting rounds. Fort Scott used to do it where they shot like a pig or a bear or something. It wasn't with a pistol though. I think it was their rifle rounds, but still, you want to have some kind of medium that you can compare to. And some people, they say, oh, this is hype, that's hype. Everybody has their opinions. I don't judge anything unless I personally test it and what it's done for me or how it's not worked for me properly. And that's the only thing I can really go by. Yeah, you can see stuff in paper, on videos, and those people could have some bias in it or being paid to say what they're saying. Not saying they are, but I believe in kind of testing stuff for myself. So if you've tested it and it works for you, then you should be good to go. Let's see here. Big Johnson, I have an associate degree in help desk, but I've had a hard time finding a job. I have applied for customer service. What other jobs you recommend? Well, let's say it this way. Jason, what do you want to do? What do you enjoy doing? And I know not everybody enjoys their job. And if we could do that, we'd all be making guns or doing something that we truly enjoy, or cars or something. But you got to find what you're really good at. Also, I believe in networking, reaching out to people that trust, see if they're hiring, find out what jobs they're doing and if you like them. Over the years, I've hired many, many, many people, and there's certain things I look for. It's not necessarily that you're 100% qualified for that job, but do you have a really good attitude? Are you trainable? What are your hobbies? What are your outside interests? What are you really good at? There's a lot of variables that go into a job. And I've hired people because I really like their attitudes. They might not be 100% qualified for that particular job, but I really like their attitude. So there's a lot of variables. I know nowadays with all this Indeed and all this other stuff, you can throw out 1,000 applications and you might not get a call back. That's kind of how it is right now. So I believe in networking and going through trusted sources that and reaching out to them. Hey, call one of your buddies. Hey, are y'all hiring? Something that you're interested in. That's what I always recommend. Networking is a huge, huge thing. Matter of fact, with the current job I'm at now, I've known this guy for 15 years, and he actually reached out to me and wanted me to come to work for him. So that's how building, your community, like we have a community here. That's also the thing within networking. And that comes with time. It comes with, persistence. Just because you send a resume doesn't really mean, yes, it means you're trying to get the job, but, following up, things like that. But I'm a big, big network person. So that's what I've always done. Not saying I'm right or wrong. That's just what I've always done. Yep. I was going to say, Uncle Dan, everybody needs water. Yep. He's in the water industry. Oh, here we go. Hang on. I had a friend with a Mustang with a 327 geared for a quarter and would raise the front wheels on the ground. All three gears, freaking scary fast. Yeah. Mustangs were super light. Man, I've gotten stomped by Mustangs. They are so freaking light. But yeah, they're great engines. There you go. I shot through soft armor, was impressed. And there was a 115, like 15 yards. I heard on the Vortex podcast, he got 80 to go through at 50 yards. I figured Glock on a brace, 5.7 replacement. Yeah. Like I said, if it works for you, roll with it. Big Johnson, thank you. I appreciate your advice. Been looking at Indeed and doing as much networking as I can. Yeah, I mean, also you might get on LinkedIn. People can reach out to you that way. You can reach out to people. I would really find out what industry you really want to be in, like what really, kind of tweaks your interest, and then maybe just reach out to some people that way. Um, and sometimes just sending a resume is not enough. I've just actually got off my ass and walked into places before, and just been like, hey, interested in talking to the owner or the general manager or the hiring manager or whomever, and just kind of work it that way too. Third time my internet has dropped today. Freaking cable company swears it's not their signal. I call bullshit. Yeah. I mean, man, I'm telling you what, nothing surprises me. Cable or internet is just so damn finicky in some places. I'm so pissed about this Trump thing. I've never donated to a presidential campaign because they are all corrupt. Now I'm pissed. Just donated. Yeah, I mean, it is a freaking scam. This whole deal, it's not going to get. I don't think it's going to get any better. I think it's going to get worse. It could be, our side lashing out. And I look at it this way: it could be people just tired of this crap, and maybe people who never would have thought vote for him now. So, I mean, you never know, man. It is definitely crazy right now with everything that's going on. Super crazy. And like I said, and I know we've talked about it before, and I brought it up before, but I still have that weird, funny feeling that something, I don't know what it is, not trying to be that guy with the tinfoil hat, but something is super fishy. Something's going to pop off. It's not good. It's definitely not good. Another thing that's really, really crazy is, we've got China coming to the United States, buying up all kinds of land. I don't know if you've heard the newest in Texas. It happened all the way down to the Del Rio, the area where it comes up, like Mexico, the border of Del Rio and up. A China person came in and just bought a whole shitload of land there. And they sold it to him. I'm like, what in the shit? And, there's a base down there. So they're right there. And I'm like, that seems fishy. And supposedly China's coming in and buying up a lot of land around Air Force bases, military bases, things like that. That's just weird. And what they're saying is they want to put up the wind turbines. Okay. They're talking about these things like being extra tall, but they only have like 8% wind there. So they're going to do this large investment, but supposedly there's somebody that's been checking on this, and they want to run cameras and sensors on the top of those. That's going to be able to check, plane engagement and all of this other stuff, and cameras up there. So is that not fishy? But they're just selling them the land. No big deal. Not worrying about it. Oh man, I'm just something's just not right. Something's just not right. Yeah, the storm is coming. Back to Jason, I mean, I've been a technician in the past, sales, manufacturing. Also think don't really pigeonhole yourself. I don't know what your age is, but I would recommend not pigeonholing yourself into one thing. I mean, if it's one thing that makes really great money, it's not a bad thing at all. But if you tend to know a lot of things, that can also benefit you as well. So, some people just kind of do one thing their whole life, which is not a bad thing. But if that particular trade or whatever it might be dries up, then it could stifle you too. So, have some irons and some fires. That's what I've always said. Kind of be a jack of all trades. Nothing wrong with that. Oh yeah. Brian, I told you, or I've mentioned it on this chat before. That's why they're bringing them all in. Oh, and I don't know if y'all have heard the latest. And, well, I don't want to. Well, yeah, I don't want to say that. But put it this way, when I was on the plane coming back from Chicago, there were a lot of, let's just say, there were a lot of people on that plane coming from Chicago to Texas, and they spoke, a lot of them. They were kind of military men age, young military men age, and a lot of them didn't speak English. And I'm talking a lot of them. And a lot of them kind of knew each other. That's what was so weird. And the plane was completely full. It was a 737 and it was completely packed. And I would say half of that plane were those guys. And they were all men. I would say none of them were probably over 26. And the youngest was probably, and I'm just guessing, 19 to 20. None of them spoke English, or they were talking in their native tongue. So I'm like, is something going to happen on this plane? Or, and I'm thinking, okay, were they in Chicago legally or illegally? And now is Chicago trying to pump them back to Texas? I don't know. It was just kind of strange. So I thought it was strange. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is, Brian, or Pistol Pete. I'm sure it is. So yeah, Brian, nothing surprises me. And they're already talking about New York and California giving them all voter ID cards and all this other crap. Texas is supposed to not do that, but who knows, man? That's what I'm saying. Whether this feeling I have is that or what, I don't know. But I just, and I'm, like I said, I'm not one to just throw out stuff, but it's a very, very strong feeling that something's not right. Something's coming. I don't know what, but something's not going to be right. So, but we're at about 8:17. We can go till about 8:30. But if y'all have any other questions, comments, anything you want, opinions about. Oh, also, and I'll go ahead and let y'all know, I've been testing this EDC 25, this little Nitecore light that I've talked about. I've been testing it. It seems to be working really well. I like the flatness of it. I've been playing around with it. Oh, I did take it with me as well. It was in my backpack, just so I'd have a flashlight in my pocket. So I had it there with me, and it's pretty damn bright. But, so far it's working well. But, I do need to throw it around. I tend to drop them and stuff and throw them around on concrete just so you don't have to. But, still kind of testing this thing too. And I do have their light, their pistol light, if you didn't see it. I've got, not saying it's bad, I've just got a lot of questions on that one. Got some things I'm kind of not liking. But so far, the EDC 25 seems like a pretty legit light. There's a couple things I do not like about it, but we'll get into that whenever I do the final review. If it passes the other things I'm going to do to it. I plan to take it to the range with me tomorrow. I'm not going to shoot it, but, I do want to do some stuff there with it too. Also, and I wanted to get y'all's opinions on it. A lot of y'all know what kind of guns I have and things like that. Just to let y'all know, I am going to be revisiting some older guns. I'm going to be dragging some stuff out and, testing it, running it, kind of giving an opinion if I think that they're still viable or not. And some of y'all might own some of these guns as well. So, I've had a lot of people say, "Hey, we want you to start checking out some of your older stuff again and going back to it." So that's what I'm going to be doing. Matter of fact, one of them that I will be shooting tomorrow is one of the older ones. So I'm going to be kind of running it, and I haven't shot it in quite a while. So going to be kind of giving it a run, and that should be interesting. I'm kind of excited about it. I hope y'all will be too. I don't want to give away the gun yet, but if you followed me for a long time, you know what it is, or you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that one. So kind of dragging some of the goodies out again, and testing some dots and things like I was saying before. And the toy that Uncle Dan sent me, or the item that Uncle Dan sent me, um, I think y'all will really like this setup. I haven't seen one quite like this, so I think that's where mine might be a little more unique, or with what I'm going to do with it. Let's put it that way. I think it's going to be a little more unique than what other people have done with this particular item. Streamlight products. Yes, I actually really like Streamlight. For the price and the reliability and the warranty, I mean, they're super hard to beat. I'm a huge Streamlight fan. I mean, my go-tos, my true go-tos that I would depend on are Surefire and Streamlight, and of course Cloud Defense. I've got some Cloud Defensive too, but they're not your average priced lights. So that's why I would kind of say Streamlight and Surefire are more of my go-to. I've really never had problems with them, and I even have the original TLR one where it had like 400 or 600 lumens. The old one, and it still works. It's in one of the safes somewhere. I drug it out, I don't know, a couple of years ago and was playing around with it. And hell, that battery had been in there for, I don't know, forever. And, turned it on and it lit up. It was real dim. So I was like, oh, I'll change out the battery. So I threw new batteries in it. Hell, it was bright as hell. I mean, for what it is, not compared to the newer ones, because, the HLs are definitely brighter. But it works. So, and I think I even have a 400 lumen one. It was the one before that one. I think I have it somewhere. I mean, I had that thing like, what was it? Late 90s or something? Maybe it was the late 90s. Mid to late 90s, maybe. But yeah, they work. Nothing wrong with them at all. They're well budget priced. I mean, hell, they'd have a ton of LE contracts. So I mean, they're good. They're good lights. Matter of fact, I do have one of their new ones coming, the TLR7 HLX. When it's released, I'll be getting one of those to test, and we'll see what I think about it. It's basically your TLR7A, but it's 1,000 lumens and like 22,000 candela. So that's going to be pretty legit. It's supposed to be double the power of the original one. And the original one, like I said before, I think about 35 yards, but I can't tell. Like if you had it against a black shirt, I couldn't tell if it was a cell phone or a gun. About 35 yards is all I would give it. And this next one's supposed to reach out twice. So, if it can go 50 to 75 yards, that's pretty damn good for a small light. I have the TLR1 or TLR HL and Desert Tan on my CZ P10C and FDE. Yeah, I just put that exact one that you're talking about on my Rock 5.7. And, one thing I forgot to say on the Rock 5.7, it's really weird. The TLR7, or excuse me, the TLR1 HL fits perfectly. It fits like it was made on it. But the Streamlight, or excuse me, the Surefire X300 will not fit on it properly. The way they cut the trigger guard and they did the steps, your pick rail, you have to keep it way forward for an X300. It will not fit it correctly. And I thought, man, that's kind of weird, but it is what it is. Not that I'm mad about it, but Anyway, let's see if we forgot anything. But I'll be testing those out. I'll, once I get some videos together or something. And I'm kind of, thinking about doing it a different way. At the range, maybe just do more shooting, less talking. 'Cause sometimes there are people there shooting where you can't hear me very well. And then maybe coming back and doing a tabletop or something and kind of telling you about the experience and kind of just sticking them together. Will that work for y'all? What do you think about that? Or do you like it when I do talk at the range? Now, if I'm able to talk at the range and nobody's there, hey, why not do it there? But if there's a lot of other shooting and noises and stuff, I don't want y'all to be like, man, we can't hear you. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. If I'm there and nobody's there and I can shoot and y'all can hear me, I'll just do it all there. If not, I might do shooting, no talking or very little talking, and then bring it back and do like a desktop or tabletop where I stick it together. So hello, Casey Dolph. How are you? That's what I'm wondering. I really am, Trigger Bar. It was very, very, very strange. I was just like, and I just kept looking because I was on an aisle and they were just walking in. It was almost like, damn, did somebody drop them off in a bus? So I'm wondering if we're shipping them there and they're turning around and throwing them right back on planes. That was kind of my thought. So anyway, Pistol Pete says, yes, on the combo of tabletop and range, that would be better. Okay. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Because I don't want, y'all to be like, hey, we can't hear you. That video was worthless. I want to make it good for y'all too. I don't want to just be talking to myself, and between gunshots. So that's not fair to y'all either. So probably we'll start doing more of them that way. But like I said, if I could take advantage of it where I can talk and I'm the only one in there or something, then that's not a big deal. Russell, tabletop and range. Okay. I appreciate it. And like I said, that's why I'm asking y'all's input because y'all are the one that watch these. I very rarely go back and watch my videos. And also mine are always one take. I'm not really the guy that shoots videos over and over and over. You get what you get. I'm just kind of that guy. So, and I'm not the editing guru by any means. I just know how to put one video together, stick them together. And that's about as much as I know. Could I learn? Yes. Do I have time to? Maybe not. I know it doesn't take a lot of time, but that's not where my patience is set up for, I guess I should say. But anyway, so all right, it's 8:27. We'll go ahead and shut this bad boy down. I appreciate all of y'all chiming in. Great questions. Definitely tune in. If there's anything that you do want to see, you're like, man, I want you to compare this gun against that gun. Y'all pretty much know what I have. So if there's any kind of comparisons y'all want to see, or hey, what do you still think about this gun that you have? I saw one of your old videos. What do you think about this particular gun? I can go back and revisit that. So if you've got any ideas, suggestions, something that you want to see, definitely after the chat, because these comments won't stay around. After the chat, go back and leave the comment and let me know if there's anything that you want to see. And we'll get that done. Cover your 6 people. Yep. Cover your 6. Keep your head on a swivel for sure. You just never know. Stuff's probably going to get crazier. So just be prepared. Also, as I'm starting to say now, if you haven't reached out to a family member or you've got some family members sick, reach out, tell them you're thinking about them, praying for them, all that good stuff. Tell them you love them. That's just the kind, right thing to do. And, even if you've had some ill will towards them or something's happened, if they're in a certain state of mind, try to help them out. There's a lot of depressed people right now. I'm seeing them, so I'm always trying to be a positive person, but, if I can help or you're in a bad sense, reach out. Like I said, we're all a community here and I want to keep us all safe and well. So, but I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a wonderful night. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, share this with somebody if they need it, and give me some suggestions. I really do want y'all's input, and I will try to make some things happen, but I'll get caught back up. We'll get all this going. I'm going to spend some time tomorrow, and I'll try to get some stuff knocked out so we can have some more videos for y'all. But I appreciate y'all so much. Remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Thanks, everybody.